So, the series is Ignorance to Wisdom. Before that, we did the series on Hammer the Delusion. It is from the same text. I simply changed the title. Ultimately, ignorance causes all the delusion, or you can say the delusion results into ignorance, and ignorance causes the suffering. Is it at the level of a seeker? We should not forget, sir. Som Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karva Vahi Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahi. Remind ourselves that as a seeker and the teacher, we both are blessed because we are undergoing a self discovery. So it brings your attention. Mind that is scattered in different directions. Maybe enjoy both. Both means the same, the teacher and the student with a tremendous energy. Energy, brings your mind back if you have a higher level of energy. And higher level of energy can be attained by if I have a clarity of the goal and the purpose. The goal is definitely awakening. You have a headache, go to the doctor gives you the pill, and the headache is gone. So by the pill, you get the awakening. But here, awakening takes place by the knowledge, by understanding that we are of the nature of the real self. So awakening takes place in different ways, different ways. Sahviryam karva vahe. Sahviryam, our energy should be directed to assimilate, absorb this knowledge. Why? To remove the ignorance. Why? To remove the ignorance, to bring an end to the suffering. Tamastu. Our intellect should be alert and vigilant. Why? Not only to understand, but also to remove the garbage from the mind, which leads to hesitation, stress, duality, and a conflict. Ma Vidvisha is very important. What is very important? Ma Vidvisha. We should not have any misunderstanding. We should not have any kind of an envy against each other. It is very important. So if we have the enemy, we should find out that there is no place of the enemy because the teacher knows 100% you are also the real self. What is the only difference? The seeker doesn't know. Seeker is in the process of knowing that he or she is the real self. That is the only difference. Om Shanti 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 Shanti. So understand, now the time has come, we have to ask ourselves, are we changing? If we are changing, there is a commitment inside, there is a sincerity. You are not going to miss any session. You are going to extract the knowledge from every session. Every session. That is important. Then there is no problem can prevent you understanding, oh, because you are inspired, you are motivated. You are motivated and inspired to continue the journey to reach to that destination. Change. I've been saying now the seeker should change. Change what? Here and now. Next action. After the session. Next action. Continuity. There is a continuity of the change in time, space, and situations. How to bring about that change because I have to maintain that state of awareness. And you are settled into that state. So we have been understanding the word itself is a problem. And I have given you the 9 steps. So it's always good. Moment you have any form of anxiety, duality, and a conflict in your life, just analyze though which factor is dominating at this time. And once you understand which factor is dominating, second group is the satsang. Then find out how to hammer that delusion. How to hammer that delusion. Intellectually, I'm saying it in your mind. You're not doing anything outside. It is the wisdom, it is the knowledge that will help you to get rid of these. But there are millions of impressions. We have millions of impressions. We are bound to forget this journey. So, one factor is continuity of the journey, keeps you inspired and motivated until you reach to the final step, which what we say the awakening and realization. But then, what to do with those mm, garbage in the mind? Sometimes it catches us, and we are upset, we are frustrated, we have a low energy. The master says you have 5 groups of practices: pranayama, pratyahara, viveka means the discernment. Pranayama, you have already heard it. I told you. But you have to take the highest meaning of the pranayama. Highest meaning of the pranayama. And the pratyahara, we have been talking about pratyahara. And third is the viveka, the discernment. And fourth is the japa. We'll talk about the japa. And the fifth one is the different stages of meditation. Pratyahara, we have. Have you seen the turtle? So, metaphorically, it is compared. uh, Turtle means one head, one tail, and the 4 legs. So these 6 organs are withdrawn inside. So metaphorically, the metaphors are not exactly similar, but they give you the sense of wisdom. So like this, we have to withdraw the 6 organs, 6 senses. So here the mind is also considered the 6th sense organ. 5 sense organs we already know. 5 senses, and the 6th one is the mind. So that is another definition of pranayama, understanding the pranayama. Oh, sorry, pratyahara. Pratyahara. So all the 6 organs are withdrawn inside. Again, understand. Metaphorically, not exactly. I told you. Metaphorically, in the case of a turtle, those organs are withdrawn inside. And here, the faculty of those organs, faculty of those senses are withdrawn inside. How can you withdraw the physical eyes inside? How can you withdraw the ears? Huh? You'll find out now the guy is without the eyes and without the ears, what he looks like. No, it is the faculty of the sense, faculty, the power to see is withdrawn. The power to feel is withdrawn. The power to hear is withdrawn. Power to hear, it is withdrawn. Because it is Eastern wisdom is basically a science of consciousness. It is a science of subjective reality. And the subjective reality cannot be translated into objective reality. So hence we have to, but examples, the communication, the language has to be with reference to an object. So pratyahar, withdrawal of these six senses. Now I will make it very simple. Pratyahara means that now my state of mind has no external influence, no impact from outside. So where I get the impact? Input from the senses. Input from the senses. You see a beautiful girl, sensuality. You see a home, beautiful home. An idea of possession comes. You see the beautiful car, etc., etc. Be very clear. Faculty, the power of that perception. And what is that perception? This is a knowledge. So that knowledge has a misunderstanding. It's a wrong perception. So I have to make it right. So I withdraw, then I look back, it is gone. I see you are an enemy. I withdraw, I look back. Now the idea of enemy is gone. Are you getting it? That is what the pratyahara is. So there the role of intellect is very important. The intellect says, how can any person be my enemy or a friend? Being enemy and friend is guided by strong likes and dislikes. Do you remember? Guided by the strong likes and dislikes. They are guided by my expectations, my attachment and aversion. You see, everything is happening in the terms of the knowledge. You are not doing physically anything. Another way to understand the pratyahara. Pratyahara, I told you, literally it means what? Prati ahara. There are two syllables. Prati means against, opposite, withdraw. And ahara means the food. And we already understood there are three types of the food, three types of the food. The sense organs, their objects are the food. Huh? The second is the food that you are getting it from me. This is also the food, food of thought. Thought contains the knowledge. And the third kind of a food we are aware, we eat through our mouths. So those who are totally dictated by the food of the senses, they will not join the Eastern wisdom. Because there is a continuity of input from the senses, stimuli from the senses, and their mind is constantly moving in that cycle. Oh, I have this input, I have this input, I have this input, and the mind is engaged in organizing it, getting the pleasure, avoiding the pain, etc., and they are known as the worldly people. Worldly people do not have a different senses. It is again a matter of understanding, knowledge. Why you are going back again and again to the same stuff? My intellect is paralyzed because of the emotional dependence on the sense objects. Do you see, if you go back to those 9 steps, the word is suffering, you will find the answer. That is why they are not going. Even the Buddha and the Jesus and awakened, a guy comes in front of them, they will not realize it. It is a matter of ignorance and wisdom. Think. I'm not saying that you follow. Think, contemplate, reflect, so that these principle becomes yours. Pratyahara, opposite. I gave you the one understanding. Second understanding, you have to withdraw the things, all the 6 senses. Mind is included. Mind is the 6 senses. And that withdrawal has to be done by the knowledge, by understanding. It cannot be done physically. Yeah, you are craving, say you are craving for the drug, and I say, close your eyes, withdraw physically. So now your mind has an imagined drug in your head. It cannot be withdrawn. Understand it clearly. It has to be withdrawn with an pratyahara is the withdrawal of the senses from the external objects. It helps in controlling the mind and reducing your distractions and anxiety and duality. Pratyahara is a prerequisite for any meditation practice. You have to understand. It leads to inner peace. It increases your self-awareness. And we have thousands of practices of pratyahara. As we continue our journey, I'll introduce you to those hundreds of practices. Now, coming to the main topic of pratyahara today. Remember this. Remember SDU, the acronym. So, Sanskrit word S means sama, D means dhamma, U means uparati. In a simple language, pratyahara has three factors together. You see, the beauty of our teachers, our great masters, the way they have explained it. All your doubts are gone. So first, when I say sama, sama means peace, shanti. Dhamma means holding the sense organs, not to go to the objects with awareness, and not seeking the imagined pleasure is you. So the three factors are involved in the in the pratyahara. Where is the peace? Peace is outside. No, imagine pleasure. It is the imagined peace and happiness. Do you remember? Yes, it is imagined peace and happiness. It's a mirage. I'm looking at a distance. That's why I'm deluded. You have to put logical. You put the things logically and you will understand. It's not a big deal. And the Dhamma means that I hold my faculty of the sense organ, means I hold my awareness and I check where is my attention? Where is my attention? My attention is taken away by the pleasure seeking mind outside on that object, on that situation. So all the three together. Sama means the inward movement of the mind. Dhamma means it demands willpower. In Pratyahara, we need some kind of a willpower. Otherwise, nothing is going to happen. So we need some kind of a willpower. One. Second is I should become aware. The mind is scattered in so many directions outside. Can can it be withdrawn? Let me start looking inside. It's a very gentle move. The inward focus is a very gentle movement. Second step is that I have to use some kind of a willpower. Without using that willpower, pratyahara cannot be achieved. Why I'm telling you, even after defining and explaining all these things, people miss the point. And the third is I have to reflect on mind, why you have gone outside through the sense organ, where you have gone. The entire world offers you the imagined pleasure or imagined pain. There is neither pain, there is nor pleasure outside in the world. Three factors. SDU. Or you can simply say uh, the inner focus, inner attention, or awareness within. Or you can even say moving within, mind moving within. That that movement should be there. As the turtle, in case of a turtle, they starts withdrawing their sense organs, so inner movement, moving within. See the metaphor, how beautiful the metaphor is. So it's more important, the movement within is the first step, and it's a gentle movement. So I'm looking outside. No, let me look inside. What is there? But the mind, because of the emotional attachment, is very much attached, craving for that object. So I need a willpower. And along with that willpower, I contemplate and reflect. Where I reflect, imagine, pleasure, and pain are found in the world outside. Real peace and happiness is found inside. In case of every object, in case of everything, that is where the pratyahara comes. Are you getting it? Say yes, you're getting it. So more and more when you contemplate and reflect, you will see, oh, it's just a play and a fun. Inner mental discipline is the first factor. So you have less number of fluctuations. And the second is that I have to use certain kind of a willpower. Outer sensory discipline is required. Oh, I want this phone. What happens, that phone is very good. I have to do phone fasting. People normally do the fasting of the food. I say media fasting, social media fasting, phone fasting. Your mind is constantly agitated with the honey, so honey fasting. Honey fasting is also required. So fasting means I'm depriving the sense organs. Understand it. I'm depriving the sense organs by understanding, not by force. After withdrawing the mind inside, I'm depriving the sense. Have you heard about the sensory deprivation tanks? I don't remember the state. Perhaps, Illinois. Some scientists have created a sensory deprivation tanks. It is like a bathtub. Here, I think it happened almost 15 years ago, 20 years ago, maybe 30 years. So sensory deprivation, that when you lie down on that bathtub, it looks like a bathtub, not exactly the bathtub. So your that instrument or that tub deprives you of your eyes are closed, so deprives you of a sense of touch, sense of smell. So sensory deprivation is there. So they have found out that the mind sits in perfect calmness, peace. They have validated our principle. So you can Google out and you can find out. Still, they are available. You can buy it. If you don't want to attend this session of Eastern Wisdom, better to buy those tanks and spend some time there every day. But it is still mechanical. It is mechanical. It is habitual. It will not work. It will not lead to awakening. But yes, it will definitely help you. I just remembered the sensory deprivation things I heard. I read those news. It was quite interesting. So, and the third one, when I say that now you contemplate and reflect, imagine pleasure is not there, like water is not there in the mirage. You're 100% sure. You still see the mirage, and still you are 100% clear. Now, what happens? First two steps are already done. Third step, now you are still in the presence of that object. So there is a natural pratyahara is done. You live in a higher state of awareness. You can say that. You can use that language. You can still, you are still surrounded by those factors, but not carried away is the pratyahara. Are you getting it? So three factors. One is where my attention is, naturally start looking inside, moving within. So you embark on a journey of the mind to move within. Second demands the willpower. Objects, sense organ, mind. But that willpower you can maintain by the third factor, by reflection, by contemplation. Is there really happiness outside? Is there really pain outside? What happens? You are free. You are in the same situation. You are in the same relations. I'm talking of everything, the entire world. World means situation, relationship, time, place, locations, etc., etc. You are with a honey or not with a honey. You are married or divorced. You are single. It doesn't make any difference. That is the situation in time and place. But that awareness, oh, gives you such a big smile on your face. Okay, yesterday I was carried away, but today I'm not. Even everything, situation outside is the same, relations is the same. So pratyahara is not closing your eyes and forcing the mind to get away with the objects of the senses. It will create a hypocrisy in you because mind is still thinking about it. Huh? Mind is still working on it. Even if you close your eyes, you close your ears, and you deprive. No, sensory deprivation has to be. It's in between. But first, moving the mind within, and followed by the reflecting on the imagined pleasure outside is not there. That's such a beautiful state we experience. Now we enjoy the presence or we enjoy the absence of that object. It hardly matters. That is the real meaning of pratyahara. Turtle can withdraw the sense organ when enemy is present, or it can withdraw the sense organ when it is sleeping. The presence of the enemy or presence of a friend does not make any difference. So Pratyahara is talking about that awareness which sets the tone to practice meditation and understand what exactly what happens in the meditation and what are the different meditative states. Now, the role of the prana also comes. Just one more point I want to talk about it. Because any movement or any change in the world is there is a presence of the prana. So now the mind through the sense organ is craving for that object. So there is a strong current of the energy. And that energy is the prana going there. So that is why we say we lose 90% of the prana through our eyes. That is why we practice meditation with eyes closed. 90%. So when you apply these three tools, you are preserving your energy, you are conserving your energy. Don't you see that? When you crave for some object outside, you feel the whole sense as if you are physically tired, emotionally dependent, emotionally crazy, and you have a sense of hesitation. And once you get rid of that by the practice of pratyahara, you feel that energy. That is the point I wanted to make. So from where I'm going, 90% of my headache, my anxiety, my tiredness is because of the absence of pratyahara in life. 90%. Can you imagine? You don't feel full of energy, clarity in your head, lack of energy, lack of enthusiasm, sense of anxiety, duality, and a conflict because of the absence of pratyahara. What happened to my body? So my sense of touch is already there in the body. It is obsessed. That's how I've been telling you. Now I have a headache. That's why I did not attend the session. You must attend the session because you have a headache. I'm not going extreme cases for you guys, but there were people, there were great seekers. And I practiced myself in extreme fever. Practice meditation, fever is gone. But yes, it returned again, and I did the practice again. A lot of things are happening. So let us start our practice. We will continue to talk about these three factors one more session so that you have a clarity. Huh? Eyes are closed. And now place, position, posture. You all are seekers. Place, position, posture. Then being comfortable. Now do you see the element of pratyahara here? Yes. Being comfortable, it means looking within, moving within. Simple. You just change the direction of the mind. Did you make any effort? No. Being carefree, another step in that direction, being carefree. It points to the third factor in the pratyahara. But then we reflect on the knowledge. We start from the third factor. Now you see what is the third factor. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. It's better you should start also singing mentally or loudly, whatever the case is. And then you go to the meaning. Meaning means may there be happiness for all. And then we go to the knowledge. This is the point of reflection. You assimilate that knowledge. Oh, that happiness is within me. That is my essential nature. I'm a human being. I'm a living being. So if I'm a living being and happiness is my essential nature, it means happiness is the essential nature of everyone. All the being, yes. Everyone is looking for that happiness, whether it is any animal. Reflection, my friend, constant reflection purifies the mind. Sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu, sarvesham shantir bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Meaning and knowledge. So just contemplate. You say in your mind, you think in your mind. I've given you almost more than 50 different explanations. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu, Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. Reflect on your own. I'm not saying anything. Even when you reflect, your mind is living within. You are in the state of almost moving into the state of the pratyahara. You see how these different practices, set of practices, are closely related to each other, interconnected. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. And now check the state. There is a sensation, comfort, and steadiness is there. There's a sense of the calmness is already there. Even if it is momentary, take it momentary. Don't believe it. And then in that state, you're looking deep inside the forehead in the space. You're looking deep inside the forehead in the space. And there you are gently doing Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So now see that your rhythm of Om Shanti should not be broken when you start breathing. That is the challenge you accept. So you are looking inside, you're dropping the Om Shanti, you are in the state of the steadiness. And now is the time to start breathing from the belly this time. It's a longer breath. You inhale, the belly expands. You exhale, the belly contracts. So again, you are aware of the entire scene as if you have created a plot where the body is steady, comfortable, Shanti continues, and you are doing the belly breathing, longer breath, hissing breath, and journey continues. That's what happens in a plot in a movie. Continue breathing into the belly. Om Shanti continues, and the steadiness in the body also continues. So here again, we can check if there is any resistance, endure it. Now you already have understood it clearly. Any resistance because of the impurity, because of the problem in the mind based on the past impressions. So we recognize it. When you recognize that resistance, you can endure it. And if you don't recognize it, and the mind, because of the emotional dependence, takes you away and you miss the practice. Don't forget resistance to endurance, to joy of doing, to the joy of being. Joy of being means what? You are doing the practice, but you don't feel there is no doer. That is the joy of being. You are already in the state of meditation in that state. While doing breathing, continue breathing. Do not stop in the middle. Check that you are not sleeping. You're doing the breathing. Ashok, you are breathing. You're not sleeping. How we can change if we commit to the practice also, commit to the understanding. Please continue. And stop it. Pay attention to the flow of the breath, moving in and out, whichever has the less flow. You can pay a little more attention. It is a passive state, my friends. You already know it. We are not doing anything. We are just aware of the. It is very important point. Very, very important. Normally, we escape this. We feel as if we are doing the breathing, and the breathing is helping me to relax. And then we are heavily conditioned by the wrong notion, even coming from the science that, oh, breathing helps you. We want that breathing should help me to raise my awareness and help me to succeed in meditation. Our objective is different. Now, in that state, looking inside the forehead, start doing the Om Shanti again, dropping the Om Shanti. But this time, you have to include both the belly and the chest, the third type of the breathing. Long, deep, and the hissing breath. You inhale into the belly, then into the rib cage, only one breath. You breathe out from the belly, from the chest, one breath. Long, deep in the hissing. We have been missing that breathing. Find out, is your mind tuned to do the third type of the breathing, belly and the chest together? It is. So that gives you more, that gives you a greater field of awareness, if I say. Well, continue with that. Continue breathing deep, long, hissing sound. You feel the expansion of the belly, follows the expansion of the ribs during inhalation. Om Shanti continues and breathing out from the belly and the rib cage in one breath. But at the same time, Om Shanti doesn't stop. Long, deep in the hissing breath. Continue breathing, continue dropping Om Shanti, keeping the body in the state of the steadiness. And if there is any resistance, endure it by recognizing. You say in your mind, okay, I have resistance coming from the mind, but I will continue to do it. Saying does not take any time, and then see the result. And stop it again, become aware of the breath. Pay attention to the flow of the breath, passive state, doing nothing, you're just aware. You see, it takes a tremendous patience and awareness to continue to be aware of the breath. The passive state is very hard to maintain. Even if we are able to maintain the steadiness at the physical level, what about emotions in the mind due to the past impressions? There is the role of the pratyahara. So we think pratyahara has more to do with uh, outer objects in the sense organs. Yes, reference point is there, where it has a deeper. And now in that state, start breathing deep, silent, slow, depending on your comfort level. But make sure your belly expands, follows the rib cage, your belly empties during exhalation, follows the ribs. So now we have to interconnect. The moment you inhale, move the mind from the top of the head to the tailbone, singing mentally, Om Shanti. Shanti touches the tailbone during inhalation. When you exhale, Om Shanti. So during exhalation, the Shanti touches the top of the head. Deep silence, slow breathing. Om Shanti continues. The mind has already tracked the path of the spine. I divided the entire meditation into three stages. The first stage, we did it being carefree and comfortable. In the second stage of the breathing of earth, we did three types of breathing, but with a different purpose. And then we will move into the third. Continue deep, silent, and slow breathing, my friends. And at the same time, you're dropping Om Shanti mentally. That distance of that length of the inhalation, Om Shanti, the length of the exhalation, Om Shanti, but that is planted on the spine. And just for a minute or so, leave this step, look at the 16 segments of the fingers, dropping Om Shanti on each segment gently, without moving the physical body, without moving the thumb. Shanti are dropping, and you may feel the sensation. Sensation becomes almost like sometimes freezing in the cold, but it's a mental. You're not saying it by moving the lips and the tongue. Why? Because the next step is going to be deeper than this. So we are preparing the mind. And now leave this looking inside the cave of your heart. Triangle upward, move upward pointed triangle of any color, moving the mind on the side of the triangle with Om Shanti. Find out sinking. If you are able to sink, you feel that, oh, mind is naturally sinking. Then singing Om, pushing the mind in the cave of your heart. Mind seemingly stops deeper inside. That is the moment where you say Shanti and then do nothing. You're actually doing nothing. Live into that state. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside the palms, know your experiences. Bring the hands down, we'll share our experiences. Now, how are you, Stephen?
I'm good, sir. Thank you very much. Um, that was great. A great lesson. I appreciate the turtle metaphor. Completely makes sense. This week has been a very long week for me as far as work goes, and the practice of the pratyahara has been incredible because I've firsthand witnessed the ability to not live out here while all of that was going on and was able to pull into myself. Um, and it actually didn't make sense that I was actually doing all of that as well as I was until today's lesson. So it was great. And I have this feeling of liberation because of it. So it was real nice. As far as my practice goes, it was really good. It had moments of feeling the energy flow, being part of the energy flow. Um, the only you know odd thing in it was the time that we moved to the triangle for the first time. It was almost as if, well, when we went to the triangle was very distinct visually to me, and I saw it from the outside in and not the inside out, which is typical. And when I immediately recognized that I was looking at it almost from a top down perspective, when I was looking at it from the outside in, I went, oh, this is bizarre. I'm actually on the outside looking in. And the moment I made that realization, it felt like the triangle pulled me inside. And I completely went behind the triangle and just sat in a place of absolute peace and happiness, and noticed at some point that I was actually, cracking a smile. And it feels good. So thank you.
Beautiful. The practice went so playful. Every practice should be playful. Playful means that the mind is not has any resistance. Why it does not have any resistance? Because of the purity. Why the purity is there? Because of the understanding. So it's a beautiful way to explain it. Thank you, Stephen. How are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Practice as always. The lesson as always was great. The SDU is something that I'll reflect on. It gave another tool in the toolbox for us to be using. But I came out of it with this underlying word of discipline. It just all comes down to, practice, reflection, and discipline. During the meditation, when I was doing the nyasa, when I was breathing down the spine, there was this tremendous amount of white light and energy. And then when I was breathing up the spine, it was this tremendous amount of freedom continuously. Through the triangle was the largest can ever recall. It was huge. Was my observation. And so consequently, because it was large, I got very deep. So thank you.
Beautiful. You see that we have those experiences of energy, white light. we say, okay, let it come and let it go. We don't give too much of importance to it. So they indicate definitely changes in our mind, in our we are already under the inner transformation. But the more you pay attention, the more you get attached to those things, the more you talk about it, it takes you away from the pratyahara. So we take it very easily. That is the one beauty. Yes, SDU, you have to remember. You have to remember in every situation, pratyahara is required for everyone in every situation, in every condition of our life, whether we are living a personal, professional, or a social life. Move within. Oh, mine is within. Okay, so I have less energy. Say, for example, I'm angry over someone, so I have less energy to be angry because the mind is looking inside. Then I have to hold on with the willpower, with the imagined pleasure. That is the third step. And you will see that the pratyahara takes place instantly. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. The mind was really focused on the pratyahara and the idea, mostly, I guess, from the turtle analogy,
Yeah, yeah.
and also being affected by the enemy and the friend. That sat with me, and it's kind of the way that we get to apply it every day. When somebody gives you lots of admiration and appreciation, notice the attitude you have. Yes,
Yeah.
obviously, thank you. And then if somebody really disagrees and challenges you, do you have that same attitude and presence? And then we know, right? Because a lot of times we're not really sure, and then we have clinging and aversion, and we didn't pay attention. So that
Yeah.
has sat with me. And then my meditation was focused on the knowledge for a long while. But then when Stephen mentioned the triangle, I realized I didn't notice the triangle at all. And then David mentioned the triangle, and I thought, So by the time we got to the triangle, I was really absorbed. There wasn't really a thought about the triangle.
Beautiful. I did not talk about it. So, because you have heard the talk on the Pratyahara, so the mind adopted that stand. So, let me move to the triangle from outside to inside. And suddenly it burst because what you were doing before, so it happens. So, that happens. So, those changes we notice, we observe while doing the practice in order to evolve. And the best part you just shared, there is a pragmatic approach. Every day, someone agrees you, someone disagrees. In a situation in our personal, professional, social life, even on small things. Now, I made a coffee, but I like tea. There is a small agreement and disagreement all the time. So what happens? Pratyahara makes your mind very subtle, very responsive. Extraordinary awareness and alertness comes. And that helps you to drop the delusion. It's a beautiful to understand, and then you apply it in your daily life. Very good, Jerry. And how are you, Dennis?
Thank you for the lesson. My takeaway is that when the mind feels tired, pratyahara is to be recalled and practiced to
I
withdraw
like it.
inside and charge with that energy from inside. As far as the practice, it was very comfortable meditation. Few challenges were in the beginning of the breathing, but these were endured. And I noticed that the mind still tends to synchronize the breathing with the Om Shanti. And as far as I understood your explanation, these two have to be dissynchronized. So I have to learn to chant independently, totally independently of the breathing. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. Means that Om Shanti continues and your breathing continues. But your breathing is fast and your Om Shanti is very, so there the mind has a confusion. But why the mind has a confusion? Because mind has some sense of attachment. So it has to be independent. They are not interconnected. The mind has two prong arrow focused on that.
Actually,
Now,
with the fast breathing, it is not connected, and it is
yeah,
easy to have it in different like streams or lanes of the mind. But when it comes to slower breathing, like belly breathing or full breathing, then it is more difficult to keep it separate.
oh yes. For others, it is difficult is for with the fast breathing. For you, it is difficult with the slow breathing. So it is all because of the mind. So gradually, when we achieve that level of perfection, it is possible. Now you see that you all are sharing your experiences and enriching others. So it's good to note down. It is very good to note down. In the first instant, you said something, I lost touch with it. You know, you said something to practice.
I said that when the mind feels tired, then
Yes,
pratyahara, I have to recall it and practice to withdraw inside and charge from the inside, not from the outside.
yes. So it is always good to note down each one's experiences in the point of their perception. And this is a wonderful point. If you remember this, whenever you feel tired, and for the last couple of years, have you seen any time that I have that sense of low energy? I'm teaching as if I'm sleeping. No, it is because that you know how to practice that pratyahara and push your energy up, and you can change your. Christina has gone, perhaps, yeah. So how are you, Terry? If you can say anything.
Um, I think the word discipline also was major factor
Yes,
for me. Just
for everyone.
working on the breath because I have some work to do. But,
That is an inspiration. The same thing David also said, discipline is definitely required in a regular practice. And once we reach to a state where you don't need a practice, you are living into that state of awareness. It is possible. How are you, Barbara?
I'm good. I have a question. If you see something beautiful and you appreciate it, but you don't crave it, do you still lose prana or do you?
No, no. You are appreciating it. You don't lose the prana. You increase the prana. You appreciate something without your ego, without craving, without attachment. That is basically an appreciation of the entire existence. But when I appreciate something because of the attachment, I have a sense of limited ego, which is appreciating it. Then I lose a lot of energy. What happens when you go to the beach and you see the mountains you are appreciating? Do you lose energy? Do you feel frustrated? No, you don't feel frustrated. You see, we have a daily life experiences. And when out of the attachment, out of the craving, I want this is so good. I'm already excited. I started losing energy. Yes, yes. You hit upon the right point. Yes, that's a good point to understand. How are you, Sangeeta?
सर प्रैक्टिस बहुत अच्छी थी और सर प्रत्याहार के लिए कई बार हमें कंपल्सिव भी करना पड़ता है कि मुझे ये नहीं करना तो नहीं करना.
Yes, what she says that sometimes we have to use the willpower to withdraw the mind from certain objects, obviously. So when I force the mind or when I use the willpower to withdraw the senses from a particular object without understanding, it will cause a problem. It will result into hypocrisy. So that is why we have to do the three factors. Moving the mind within, holding the mind, not going there to sense objects, understanding it is imagined pleasure. Where are you going? Why you are going? Waste of time, waste of energy, waste of effort. So that all the three factors have to be together. How are you, Ashok?
नमस्ते सर.
तबीयत
Sir,
ठीक नहीं है?
नहीं तबीयत ठीक है सर. I'm good sir, fine and everything is fine. Nothing.
Everything is fine.
All right sir.
Very good. Thank you very much. We'll
Thank you sir.
meet again.
Namaste everyone.
Thank you.
Namaste.
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 Thank you.